Welcome, race fans, and to a special edition of From the Garage, Moose Racing's From the Garage. I'm Josh. This is Pro Support Carl, and we know GNCC got started last week, and it was great racing, but there was an unfortunate accident with one of our top riders, Ricky Russell. So we're really honored to be able to bring him in and talk to him about the accident, what happened, what his recovery is, and what he's doing right now. I think we got him here. Let's bring him in. Okay, Ricky, how you doing today?
Good. How about you guys? It's, as good as I can be doing.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm on
Ricky,
the mend.
you want to
Yeah.
run through what actually happened so we all know?
It was a GNCC. It was hot and dusty, and I got a decent start. I think I was third or fourth, and slowly but surely was kind of making my way up to, I was in second, I think, a couple laps in, and then I could see Caleb running that same gap. He was in that same distance ahead of me, which wasn't that far. So I was like, oh man, we're staying consistent with his speed. So I was happy, and then 2 to go, I was able to kind of pick it up a little bit, and then before I knew it, I was right on his butt, and we're going in the last lap, and I felt like I was confident and just felt like I wasn't tired yet, and bike was working great. Everything was kind of just going good, just one of those races, and kind of caught up to him, and Caleb was not doing his usual self. He was making mistakes, and you could tell he was a little bit flustered because I think just because we were caught up to him, so I think it just threw him off a little bit. And then, there's a reason he gets out in front and checks out a lot. So I think we just kind of caught him off guard. That was good because he doesn't get that much. That probably caused some mistakes here and there, and then I was able to just be right on him. And I had a couple lines chose out, and coming out into the field right before the start, or right after the start. We're coming out in this field section, and there was a split line there that I knew was way better, and I took it, and I was able to get by for the lead, and then I was like, sweet, we got out in this field, and then we were both going we were on the edge, going fast through that field, and then there was a sweeping right-hander, and he was pretty aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. He came straight across the sweeping right-hander, and I talked to him afterwards. We're all good. It's just he wanted to kind of see if he could. He knew he had to make something happen quick because it was dusty. So he came straight across the corner, and we actually hit there and kind of pushed me and him off the track. And then I was able to save it, and then I was right behind him. But I was kind of flustered, geez, man, that was a little bit on the aggressive side of things, but. Afterwards, looking back on it, I'm like, I understand. It's last lap. We're trying to go for the win, and he's kind of trying to ride a little defensively. So, anyways, just after that, I was still trying to get back by him because I was like, Strain's not too far behind us, so need to get by and not get caught, not potentially go from first to third. So, anyways, we came around that field, and as we were going in the woods there. Seemed like he wasn't really pushing that hard, maybe because his heart rate just spiked because we just had that pretty aggressive section. And then, so I had a split line, and I went for it. And really what it was the main line was pretty choppy and a little bit of loose rock in it, and it kind of drifted left and then right back onto the trail that I went to the right earlier, and so I got onto it sooner. And as I was pinning it, I expected to be already by him. Well, I wasn't because he went a lot faster through that chop than I expected. And he came back onto the trail, and we collided. And before I knew it, I was going into the tree, and there was a tree to the right, and I hit the tree, and it just hit my bars, cranking to the right. And then I went over the bars, and from there I was trying to get up, and I just felt warm liquid dripping all down my leg. When I was not good, there's a lot of blood. So luckily there was Michaela there, Mike Wachowski's girlfriend, and I yelled to get a medic, so I think she was on that really quick, which is good. And then another guy showed up, and I was able to take his T-shirt and he tied it around my leg, so it really slowed the bleeding down really quick. But it was just a very, very scary crash. It was probably the scariest crash I've ever had because of all the blood.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, it was nothing really. It was kind of just a racing incident. The first one I would say was a little aggressive on probably KR's part, but there's a reason he's going for it, and has a reason he has won all 4 rounds. He was a little bit defensive, and he wanted to try to fluster me, and he did. So he didn't want it to work out like that, but in a way it worked out because he was able to go on and win. So the second part was just kind of, I think I caught him off guard, and it was blind, and we were just, as we were colliding, it was just too late really for either of us to do anything to prevent it. It was such a fast section coming together, and it was just like, oh crap, too late, and then boom, tree. So that was just more of a racing incident. So nothing against him, and nothing, not holding any grudges or anything, but yeah, just upset, frustrated with myself because I could have been a little more patient, and I had 8 more miles to make it happen, especially because I was feeling so good at the time. So
Right. What did they do to your leg, and what's your recovery like?
So that's where I'm at right now. I came to the hospital, and originally I was like, they told me like, they weren't that worried because it looked like it didn't look like it was the artery because it kind of slowed down the bleeding. So I was, oh, it's just a gash, we'll be all right. Well, then after some scans, they found out that the femoral artery,
Yep.
your biggest one in your leg.
Biggest one, correct.
And they said it wasn't necessarily just cut, it was like brutally damaged. Like 2 inches of it was just like obliterated. So
Wow.
it was because the handlebar was such an abrupt hit that it just beat it up so bad. So the original scan, they weren't even sure if it was just a blood clot on the artery or if it was actually damaged. Well, when they got in there, he said it was really damaged, and he said they had to cut out 2 inches or so of the artery and replace it with one of my veins in my legs. So
Wow.
I guess they take this vein and do heart bypasses with it too, the same vein. So it's a big vein. They put it in place of the artery, and that's what they've done now. And the last couple of days, we've been trying to get the swelling down, which that's been what I've been worried about. It's just been pretty swollen up, and then now today was a huge sign of relief because yesterday they were able to put a stent, something in the vein, like a
Stent.
thing to
That's
open it.
it.
So
Okay.
that way, because it wasn't quite getting the flow it needed, and so they did that, and now the swelling's gone down dramatically, and today's been like my best day yet. So hopefully, just keep improving like this every day.
That's awesome.
That's good.
So.
Go back to when you had the injury. You said something. I had a T-shirt there, and you kind of wrapped it up to try to reduce it. And Wachowski's girlfriend ran off. How chaotic was that scene after they came rushing to you and tried to get you out of there to the hospital?
Yeah, no, it was a little bit chaotic because there's a lot of people saying things, and everyone's trying to decide on what to do, and I'm saying one thing, and I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm probably not the nicest person at the time. I tried to stay calm. I think anyone who was there would say I was relatively calm, and so originally when I first crashed, the first thing I saw was Wachowski's girlfriend, and that's when I was like, I need a medic, this is bad. And she kind of panicked a little, I think, but then got on the radio really quick and made it happen, because luckily, like I said, I was right by the start, and so the medics weren't that far away, and they were actually kind of following the lead group of the race, so they were right there, and they weren't too many yet, but so then there was a guy messing with my bike, like getting it off the track, and that was the guy I yelled at. That I was like, I need your T-shirt, I need your T-shirt, and he ripped it off, and we tried. So it was just low enough that I could get above it, just low enough below the crevice in your thigh, and got above it and was able to kind of tie it, not super tight, but we just kind of tied it, and it slowed it down a lot. I had my hand on it too, so I don't know what all was stopping it, but I didn't know how bad it was at this point. I hadn't even seen it. I just knew coming out of my pants, and I had red pants on, so it was kind of even hard to see. So, anyways, then later on, the medic got there and we kind of removed that T-shirt and some of the stuff, and it was still bleeding, but not like an artery, you would think, like artery would be squirting. So that's when we were thinking, oh, it's maybe not an artery, it's just a gash. But it was still a big gash, and there's still a lot of blood. But we just put a bunch of gauze on it and just kind of held pressure on it and got me into the ambulance, and then got me to the hospital. The biggest pain at the time, I was cramping that last lap a little bit. 2 laps to go, I cramped a little, and then it went away. Well, it was my right leg and my thigh and my ankle cramped a little. And then when this happened, my ankle was super cramped in my thigh, and I couldn't get it to even. Just felt like, when your muscle's super tense and you can't do anything about it, like it's just tense. Well, that's what it felt like it was constantly, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, come to find out, it was because the leg was getting 40% of its blood flow because the artery backed up. But I thought it was just a cramp that wasn't going away.
Wow.
And so that was what I struggled with the most pain-wise while on the way to the hospital. I was just super cramped. Everything was. And I kept telling them that, and I was trying to give them a massage it, but it's not their job to give me a massage at the time. But yeah, I got one of the nurses to actually rub my ankle a little bit, and man, it relieved so much pain just because it felt so tense.
It's actually kind of amazing. You sound like you were pretty coherent of everything that was going on, because a lot of times when that stuff will happen, it's just sort of a blur, and I mean, you didn't go into shock or anything. You were coherent enough to try to stop the bleeding as best as possible. That's actually pretty amazing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, for the most part, I remember everything, and yeah, I was trying to, I've been in difficult positions before, not necessarily this bad, but I've been injured, and yeah, it's frustrating when it happens, but yeah, I think the best thing to do is stay calm and try to do what makes the most sense, and I think we all did a pretty dang good job, and my team was there really quick. Even, like I said, the medics were there, and then Barry was there, and everyone, all my guys were there pretty soon. So I mean, it was cool to have that support there right away. So
right.
I wasn't sitting out in the woods alone, thinking I'm dying. So that was a plus.
Yeah, it's a real testament, I think, to the medic team at the GNCC to be so quick. I mean, you were fortunate. Like you said, you were in a spot that was kind of accessible, because I mean, it's a GNCC. It could be anywhere. It's crazy sometimes. So
yeah, it would have been way out there on the furthest point, and it would have been really hard to get to.
Absolutely. I mean, I know this is a different type of injury than what you had last year, and you recovered pretty amazingly from that last year. You came on like a tear at the end of last season and coming into this season. What's the prognosis of where you're at with rehab and all that sort of thing? Have they given you any sort of timeline?
It's really, no one's really sure. It's kind of just, right now I have to take blood thinners, and because we can't get a blood clot in this leg, so
oh wow,
I'm going to be on blood thinners for a little while. And they don't want me racing when I'm on blood thinners. So it's going to be until I feel better. I'm going to have to get checked up on, and make sure everything's just flowing, my blood's working right, and my veins working right. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. I'm pretty bummed. People are upset when they break bones, but I mean, bones just heal. Yeah, they're easy.
Right.
So I would my hip's fractured as well, and I'm not even really that worried about the hip fracture. It's more of this blood and cardiovascular deal. So
And obviously, this isn't the best time to be in a hospital anyway, with it's COVID
Yeah.
and no one can help you and no one can get to you, and family and friends, and it's a hard time, right?
Yeah.
But you do have somebody with you, right?
Well, luckily we're in Georgia, so that this is where it's the most lenient. But still, the visiting hours are 12 to 5, and right now it's 11:45, so 15 minutes. My mom or girlfriend will be able to come in
Okay.
here. And
And
they
your
bring my
dog.
And you got your dog with you, right?
Yeah, pretty awesome. I got the family and the dog, and everyone gets. Well, we still only one person at a time, but they count a dog not as a person. So I guess kind of two people with the girlfriend and the dog, or my mom and dog. So
Okay.
that's. But yeah, still, this is a weird time, and it doesn't really make that much sense to me, one person compared to two, because their germs are in here. So I don't know. I don't. It's a little bit frustrating, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Yeah, visiting hours aren't that long every day. It's like it comes and goes pretty quick, unfortunately. So hoping to get out of here within the next day or two and
Oh wow.
get on the couch for a little while and back on the mend. So
Yeah, at least if you're in a familiar environment rather than a hospital room. I mean, you're an athlete, you're active, you don't sit around, so it's like just to be sitting there has got to be working on your mind as well.
100%. Yeah, it's the days go by, but man, some of them drag out. It's been painful. I'm just happy that it's finally slowing going down and finally feeling better. So it took. I didn't want that against my worst enemy, to anyone to experience that pain I was experiencing. It was
Yeah.
cardiovascular as like something else. It was, yeah.
I
I
can
can-
only imagine.
Back to being better finally, because today I got up and got in this chair and was able to kind of move around, and it's kind of, I know it sounds so minor, like, oh, he got up. Well, getting up was a big step for me. So each day, if I can get up and do more, it's going to be pretty cool.
Right. You said today's been the best day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day and move on from there. So
Yeah,
we're glad you got off the track and to the hospital, and it sounds like at least they got you stable and taken care of and got you on a road to recovery. So that's a good thing.
for sure.
Wish you well, man.
No, thank you guys, and thanks for. They might have had to cut my pants off, unfortunately. And
I think we have some more.
Yeah, that's
I think
okay.
we're good.
We can take care of
Yeah,
that.
I think we can get you some more pants. I think right outside this door, actually, we're in the middle of the warehouse. So, but hey, thanks for talking to us. We're going to send this out to the fans and let them know what's going on with you. So, anything else you want to add in your recovery as you go along, man? We'll definitely pass it along, because that was just kind of a really scary, freaky thing when I read about it on Sunday. So,
yeah, no doubt. I think I originally thought, oh, he just got a gash in his leg. It's whatever, and then people found out on Monday, like, oh, it's actually a bigger deal. He's pretty
Right.
good. Yeah, it's good to get my version out of there, and at least people know. Yeah, we're getting better, and I didn't lose my leg, because originally when they said there's a chance of losing a leg in the first surgery, I was like, that's when I kind of panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
So, didn't lose the leg, and we're on the mend, and I think everything's going good. So.
all right, good deal. So, all right, hey, we'll let you get back to resting, relaxing, and some rehab and stuff. I'm sure you're kind of beat up from a week of talking about it and stuff. So, hopefully, you get to go home, like you said, tomorrow, and move on.
That's
Thanks,
the plan.
Ricky. We appreciate that.
No, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later.
Definitely. All right, and we'll thank everybody else for tuning in to our special edition. We'll get this posted, and we'll definitely follow up with you down the road.
Awesome.
All right.
We'll send this to you so you can see it.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ricky.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Keep well.